Hello, welcome to LTM Reviews to get you caught up on the oldest movies. So, Scooby Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. So, for those who don't know, I think either in seasons 1 or 2, I talked about the first Scooby Doo movie from 2002, the one that I grew up with, and yeah, it's still not very good in my opinion, but it's not the worst. I've noticed that both, and now we're here to talk about the sequel, Monsters Unleashed. So, much like the first movie, the movie was panned by critics, but this one did a lot worse at the box office, making not as much money as the first film, which a third sequel was canceled. It was supposed to be directed by James Gunn, who would also go on to do Guardians of the Galaxy and the new Suicide Squad, which the trailer is awesome. Okay, so about Scooby Doo 2, what are my thoughts on that movie? Is it better than the first one? Is it worse than the first one? I would say, as a movie on its own, it's not very good. But as a sequel to the first movie, and especially as a Scooby Doo fan, this was somewhat of an improvement. But that's not saying much, because there are some problems, and I can't really qualify this as a good movie. But let's talk about the bad stuff. The problems with Scooby Doo 2 are that some of the jokes feel kind of flat. They have funny there is a few funny jokes here and there, unlike the first one, which I barely laughed at all. There's a few funny moments here and there, but some of them just fall flat and just kind of cheesy. Some of the effects are pretty bad. Not awful. I've seen worse CG, and you gotta remember and I understand this was the early 2000s, but you could have done so much better with some of these effects, especially on the monsters. The story is very confusing. I forgot to mention the story, but the story was really confusing and very contrived. The villain was just very, very stale. I didn't like any of the side characters or any of the new characters, like Seth Green's character. I could care less about. The villain's backstory and the mystery that they're trying to solve was very confusing and kind of stupid. And I don't know. I just don't like how they're. I just don't like the characters that they're introduced to. However, what makes Scooby Doo 2 much more tolerable than the first one, or at least a little bit better, there are a few things. One is they developed Shaggy, and I do like the relationship between Scabby and Scooby Doo in this one a lot better. I mean, yeah, they're two doofuses that don't do much, and they're just goofing around every once in a while, but that's kind of their character. And to be fair, it feels exactly like the cartoon. There are moments that actually feel like they're trying to make a Scooby-Doo movie. The monsters is bad. Okay, yeah, the monsters do look pretty bad, and their CGI is kind of weak, but to be fair, the monsters are much more restrained and much more well handled here than they did in the first film. And to be fair, that giant black blob is actually it's probably one of the least bad CGI effects, and to be fair, they did a good job on that. The climax was really fun. I actually enjoyed this climax a lot more than the first movies, I have no idea what to say about that. And as bad as the villain was, I could see him as like one of those so bad he's good villains, and that's about it. I will say the soundtrack is much more well listened to as well. The first movie soundtrack was not bad, just nothing I wouldn't want to listen to all the time. This one, I will say, was much more structured and had better songs to listen to. And the last thing that makes this one at least a little bit more tolerable was that, let's be honest, guys, this actually feels like a Scooby-Doo movie. Unlike the first movie, this one at least attempts to take the source material and takes it to a different direction. And there's a lot of references to it too. Like, for example, that submarine dude. If you remember the cartoon, he was in one of those cartoons. And yeah, that's the only character reference I know. But you get the idea. It actually feels like a Scooby-Doo movie. So overall, I can't say that the film was that good. It's barely watchable. But if I had to compare this to the first movie, and if I had to choose either this one or the first one, I would say I would watch this one again. It's not a good movie by any means, but I would at least find this mildly entertaining. So, I give Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed a 5 out of 10. I can't call it as a good movie, but if I had to choose this or the first one, it'd have to be this. So, take it for what it's worth. If you really want to go watch it, go right ahead. And if you really like this movie a lot, that's fine. But this is just my opinion. So, hope you guys enjoyed this review. What's your favorite monster movie? Please subscribe, comment below, let me know. This is LTM signing out, and I'll see you guys next time.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.